So today I'll be presenting my persuasive speech titled The Little Law That Couldn't. I'm going to show you my audience. Okay, let's get started. So, in his article titled Hoping to Stop the Bloodshed, Justin Walsh wrote about the Uvalde shooting that claimed 19 innocent lives. He stated statistics that gunshot wounds causing death have gone up by 20% in the last 5 years in our nation. He also states the leading cause of death in children is currently from gunshot wounds. Today, we'll be discussing why creating more laws is not what's going to be what fixes the issue of gun violence in our country. This topic is important because hundreds of lives could be saved if we could do the necessary work that would actually make a difference. I remember when the Parkland shooting took place in 2018. It was my senior year. It was so scary because of how close the location was to where we are currently. I was terrified to go to school, and no kid should ever have to fear going to school that they would lose their life. We'll be talking about why gun laws won't stop people from obtaining guns if they really want to. We'll look at how these laws could end up doing more harm than good, and how we need to look at education in the home rather than at the governmental level. So let's start by discussing how laws cannot fully stop gun obtaining. Those who want to obtain guns will still do so illegally. Let's say even if the age limit was raised on the use of guns. The same way underage teens find ways to obtain alcohol or tobacco, those who want will still find a way to get their hands on a gun. Some can falsify IDs, they can even steal one or go to an unlicensed dealer and obtain a gun. Raising the age limit won't stop the underage from obtaining a gun, and neither will it stop those with ill intentions on how they'll use a gun. It can probably hinder at best, but that's not what's going to fix it. Stricter gun laws won't stop those who were already planning to break the law anyways. In his article, Charles C.W. Cook states, "Those who are willing to break laws against murder do not care about regulation of firearms and will still get a hold of weapons whether doing so is legal or not." Our issue is not just gun violence. Firearm attorney Ryan Kleckner wrote in his article, "Gun laws don't stop violence. In fact, no laws stop violence." He continues to state, "As far as my legal education has taught me, all violence is illegal, yet it still happens." Our nation's issue with gun violence is not some quick fix, slap a law on it and move on type of thing. This only has the potential to make things worse. More lives could be tragically lost in the process of restricting gun laws. Through rebellious acts of violence, people can be harmed by these laws. Rebellion is common in our culture. I can only imagine the outroar or acts of violence that will follow restricting the use of guns. Gun laws still won't stop the ongoing violence in our country done through other acts like robbery, stealing, or just hurting anyone that you see on the street for whatever reason. These acts may actually become more prevalent through restricting the use of guns. Stricter gun laws can take guns away from people who genuinely use them for protection. Although sadly used for violence by some, guns still do hold protection to those trained properly to use them. Ryan Kleckner continues in his article to state, "If you ban all firearms, the law-abiding people won't have them, who are the victims, but the criminals will." So now that we've discussed why gun laws wouldn't be effective, let's get to the heart of this issue, which will start at the home level. They say home is where the heart is, and that's where we need to start first in order to improve. Laws without a change in the mindset of our whole nation, or at least a good majority, will lead us nowhere. Change begins in a person's heart. In his article, Star Parker states, "If we look at what generally characterizes the mindset of those who commit these acts, we see that mindset has taken hold of our whole culture. A lack of good, stable families or a good support system at home is causing our nation to crumble. Our entire culture and mindsets need to change if we are ever going to really get anywhere on this issue. But sadly, the news makes headlines for a few weeks, and then we go back to business as usual after we forget about it. So a good percentage of mass shootings have occurred due to domestic or family relational issues. It's no secret that the stereotype of most mass shooters are white males. TheViolenceProject.com states that of the 172 mass shootings that they studied, only 4 were enacted by women. And they state that white males account for 52% of mass shootings. A history of trauma accounts for 42%, and domestic abuse accounts for 36%, as stated by the Violence Project, which I will be showing my audience. So what you see in orange here is what's highlighted of mass shooters that did the violence because of trauma or abuse in their past. And there are many other factors like unemployment or bullying and all those other issues, but we'll be focusing on trauma and abuse in the past. So trauma from past relationships, abuse from parents, and a lack of good upbringing all are factors that play into creating someone who could potentially become a mass shooter. So as we wrap up, we looked at why strict gun laws would be ineffective, how they could only end up causing more harm, and why starting in the home is so important. We need to hit the heart of this issue, or else we're aiming unsuccessfully at an issue that will only carry on and claim many more lives. Thank you.